Hindutva Meddling article published by Atheist Republic CEO. That's me. So every week we have our last news is about Atheist Republic. And so I thought I should talk about how I got my first article published recently. It's titled Big Tech Doing the Bidding of the Far Right, Enforcing Blasphemy Law Beyond India's Borders. And it's about the Indian government and Hindutva trolls targeting Atheist Republic, like all the actions they've taken against us, the court cases that are against us. And I talk a little bit about the importance of free expression. I talk about like why we're continuing to blaspheme despite the backlash. And
it is very well written. Okay, guys, like it's really well written and it's so heavily sourced. Like you could see all the information and the proof for it. It's really good. Like Susanna is like a very good writer. If you guys go read this, you could see. But yeah,
this is how you can tell I have a background in science.
Yeah,
because I source, like obsessively source everything.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I also might want to say that this publication is a right-wing, audience. Like I think a lot of people here who read this, I think they're mostly right-leaning. Mm-hmm. So I liked how, because a lot of right-leaning people think like cancel culture is just like a lefty thing, right? And I think this was a good way, like some people might be, it was a good way to introduce a lot of right-leaning people that, censorship, cancel culture, it's a right-wing, like globally, it's mostly a right-leaning thing. And I think this article does a very good job to show how censorial like the Hindutva in India is, and how it's like, left-leaning censorship is not, in Western countries is nothing compared to the level of censorship that right-leaning governments do. So it was, guys, it's really well written. Like I was so impressed. I do want to highlight some because this is like
this audience is clearly not my audience, and Katie is saying, "Isn't that Carl Benjamin's site, Sargon Avocad?" Yes, it is, and they did not like what I had to say.
Which I don't know. I think that means you're doing a good job. Like we're bringing a take to a group of people who usually wouldn't see a take like this, right? Mm-hmm. So it's good that they're being exposed to something that they're usually not exposed to. But yeah, go on.
Oh my gosh. No, Adia predicted it perfectly. She will be called a Westerner trying to impose Western's free speech on Indians. End of story. Yes, that is exactly what happens in this comment section, except it is by Westerners.
By
right-wing.
By right-leaning Westerners. Guys, you thought like this kind of accusation is done by like...
that's very strange.
Yeah. No, because they didn't like it, right? So they didn't like it. So they're like, you would think that somebody who would accuse Susanna of like, why are you imposing your values on Indians, right? You would think, okay, this person is either a right-leaning Indian or a left-leaning Westerners. But no, it was done by right-leaning Westerners who don't like what Susanna has to say. Here's the first top. Okay, let's look at some of these comments.
Oh boy!
All right.
Sebastian is saying, "You get what you effing deserve, atheist activists. What have you done to protect the rights of Christians as they are being targeted throughout the Western world? This article is a joke." Okay, more than most.
That's such whataboutism, and it's exactly like what you hear from the Wokistani Mujahideen. If you talk about Islam, they're like, yeah, but Christianity is bad. So he's saying, if you say the Hindutvas are treating atheists bad, yeah, but what about the Christians? Like,
all right, but that it doesn't even stand here. First of all, we have been defending Christians when they are wronged, especially in Islamic countries.
No, but they're saying throughout the Western world.
Yes. Okay. So that's one problem that we have. Second of all, they're treating atheists like a collective, like we're all responsible for what other atheists do. Third of all, you don't have to speak, like if you want to bring attention to some people. You don't have to have a record of bringing attention to everybody who's being done wrong everywhere at all times for you to be able to now bring attention to something. I'm pretty sure this idiot Sebastian hasn't been bringing attention to every goddamn person that has been wronged on this planet. And if he ever was, like, because you could do the same thing to him. If he wants to bring attention to Christians who are being targeted, I could be like, well, Sebastian, let me get my goddamn list. Have you covered these people? Have you covered every single one of these issues? Because if you haven't, then you have no right to bring attention to Christians. Okay.
No, scroll further down. There was one that was really good.
No wait.
If I were India looking at what atheists have made of the West, I might consider raising a few intellectual trade barriers too. That was one guy's go.
This comment by Ernst. This is what I was thinking of. So scroll down. So you're outside activists operating in a completely different culture, trying to spread your foreign values there, and now you're bemoaning that there's backlash to that? Sorry, Lotus Eaters, but this seems to be the weakest article to date on your site. And the author, haven't you atheist activists destroyed enough already? Agnosticism and secularism are concepts to strive to, but political atheism is just destruction of ethical values. I'm not for political atheism, for secularism. Too long didn't read, serves you right, stop moaning.
Here's an interesting thing.
This comment by Doug, if I were India looking at what atheism, this is what Rivka said.
Here's an interesting thing. These idiots don't realize that we're actually happy about all of this because all of this made our patrons grow significantly. We're almost quadrupling, like we're getting close to quadrupling our patronage because of all of this. And people are like, stop moaning. Like, we're not. Please keep it coming. And also this the top one as well. Where is it? You get what you deserve. Well, if it really okay, great, thank you, because what we're getting is a lot more support. So if what we deserve is a lot more support, then we deserve a lot. Rivka, why don't you say?
I wanted to highlight this comment by Tar Bell because it's a perfect example of bigotry, and just I don't know why it is that people can't seem to get it, the damn point that you cannot simply export democracy or Western style liberties. A lot of people out there in the world don't want it, and you're nothing but an outsider trying to press yourself against your community. That, and then the first one about completely different culture from Ernst. So there's no atheists in India? That's kind of what he's saying, that the only atheists exist are in Western countries, and there's no democracy in India.
Mm-hmm. There is. India is a democracy.
Exactly.
Export democracy.
Exactly.
You fucking idiot.
Exactly. And somehow people in India, they're not atheists. They don't want or are not a democracy. They're not interested in free speech. All of this is such bigoted, I want to say racist, but it's not necessarily racism, that somehow these concepts are afforded only to Western democracies, and anybody else, if you're talking about it, we're somehow impinging upon their culture because they're not interested in freedom. They don't have democracy. It couldn't possibly be that there are atheists in India. All of these things are this assumption that the West is only the place that these things happen, and they aren't afforded to anyone else. And nobody else wants them. No one else is interested in intellectual freedom or, freedom from arbitrary religious authority. That's only us. Mm-hmm. So let those poor savages be to do their thing. which is exactly what those comments are saying.
I think that brings up a very good point, as if people in India don't want these things. And in the article, I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head how I phrase it, but I am basically saying that we're doing this for the activists in India who are facing higher consequences for taking on something like this than we would. And it reminds me of, there's a comedian, an Indian comedian. His name is Veer Das. He's hilarious. And he is working on putting out a special right now. And a significant part of the special is about free speech in India. And he does an exercise with the audience that demonstrates to the audience, through audience participation, how much the audience wants free speech, free expression, and does not feel that they have it in India. People in India want these values to be protected. They want these freedoms. Okay, so I'm not imposing.
I have to go soon, and I need to say a couple of things myself. It's not just you two guys, right? So, two things. First of all, a lot of these people, I'm pretty sure, have a lot to say about China. A lot of these people like, oh, do not impose your values on our country. These are the type of people that have a lot to say about China, okay? So about communism and like, oh yeah, okay, so they're hypocrites. Another thing is, I can't believe how many bad how like the amount of bad takes here is so, like, we could spend an entire stream of how stupid these people are, right?
Yeah.
And this means, like, this was published, like, you know how some left-leaning Westerners think, like, why did you publish it here? This is like a right-leaning blah, blah, blah. Like, this is exactly why, because these people are idiots and they need to be educated, right? This is exactly the type of stuff that they need to be exposed to. Because I only have a few minutes, can you read this comment? This is a good one by George.
Okay. George Hop. The author's use of far right here seems like a buzzword and rather inconsistent. On one hand, the party wanting to punish Armin is far right, but also people who agreed with his colleague comments are right-wing anti-Muslim bigots. Wait, who agreed with his colleague comments? I don't think they read that.
They don't know how to read.
It's a specious argument. He's saying a bunch of things that he thinks sound smart because
he doesn't
know what he's talking about.
No, he didn't even. He can't. He has reading comprehension problem because that's not what we said. But go.
So the people who. Never mind. I'm not going to break this down. And so the people who agree with his colleague comments are also right-wing anti-Muslim bigots. No.
What?
No. Okay. You're confused.
You can't
also,
read.
How is a campaign called #Desecrate the Quran not anti-Muslim bigotry from the perspective of actual Muslims? I don't know much about the BJP, but the merger of government and private companies is fascism, which is quite left-wing.
What I'm saying, this guy is the stupid person's idea of a smart person. He's putting a bunch of words together and he's making this actual specious argument. He's too dumb to actually read the article. And then he also thinks that Muslims criticizing a religion is the same as bigotry against people because he doesn't know the difference.
This guy is beyond criticizing.
Yeah, but I love. That's fascism, which is quite left wing.
Fascism is left wing. Okay, George. Okay, George.
As for the actual issue,
let's
seems the scapegoat used to establish hate speech laws preventing offense, which will be used for authoritarian control, much like they are in the West. I don't think Facebook or Twitter would restore his organization's accounts. Yeah, it's probably likely.
Yeah, that's fine. We keep it banned so we could keep highlighting it and growing as an excuse. But
I want to make one more point. Like all these people saying that somehow India doesn't have atheists or they're not interested in free. That's our second largest membership.
Yeah.
Is India. There are hundreds of thousands of people in India. So this just shows their bias and their bigotry and their actual not understanding of the world that, you know, there's tons of people in India who are members of Atheist Republic.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know that.
No, yeah, he doesn't.
Because he just assumes that that's stuff that only the West has. It's not for anybody else. We have a lot or democracy or free speech. It's
Yeah.
bigotry. It's cultural relativism, which is disguised bigotry.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point because they're like, why are you imposing your values on India? We have a lot of Indians that are like, guys, we're missing you on Facebook. Where's our Atheist Republic? They joined us. They want Atheist Republic. They became a member. Anyways,
Wait, but I
only
had
have 2 more minutes.
I know I
So
had a
you-
few comments I wanted to highlight from Kay, saying I read that article on Lotus Eaters a week ago. Congratulations, Susanna. Thank you, and to everyone else congratulating me. Thank you. But I had to highlight this compliment. Kay said, "Yep, that article by Susanna is really well. It's well written, but I can't read well." Okay.
Okay.
Some
Yep,
people
that
have. Go ahead.
Guys, I have 2 minutes.
I was going to
The
make a
article
joke.
by Susanna is really well written. Read it 3 times due to the way she covers every minute detail. Kudos.
It's really
So
good.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
thank
did
you
a
guys.
really good job of framing it with all the background information so people wouldn't have to go, well, I'm not sure what she's talking about here. So no, it was really, really good at bringing all the information together in a concise format.
Link to the article is in the description if you guys want to check it out. And if
Yes,
you go,
and tell
we're gonna
me
go.
what you think. I
Yeah.
made a post about it on my Instagram. Like, tell me what you think in the comments.
Oh yeah, actually, and this is to Rivka's point. If any,
The younger generation of India has a lot of open-minded people who identify as atheists. That's a great sign. I agree,
Yes.
Shubal.
Yes. All right, guys, that was the news. Thank you for being with us here today. Thank you for everybody in the live chat. And guys, make sure you get our blasphemous art for free. Link in the description. If you subscribe to our newsletter, you get our blasphemous art for free, and you get my book, Why There's No God, for free as well. Link, and we're gonna keep adding to our gifts, by the way, for our newsletter subscribers. We're gonna and like
Also,
yeah.
if you like my shirt, there should be links for that in the description as well.
Yes, guys, the things that we're giving out for free keeps increasing. Like sometimes I tell Susanna, like, we're giving him too much, aren't we? Like, this is like look how much they're getting for so
The
little.
value, the
Yeah,
value.
you better
value.
watch it. They're going to call us commies if you keep giving away free stuff.
And also subscribe to our newsletter, because if we get removed from all these platforms, at least we could reach out to you. And guys, by the way, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get a free copy. Where's your copy, Susanna? Get it. We're doing promotion. You get a free. It's not even promotion. It's free. Okay, so if you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description, you get a free copy of Why There's No God. Come on, like, I'm handing it out for free. Okay, it's a bestseller on Amazon, and you get it for free. So subscribe to our newsletter, and you get a free copy of Why There's No God sent to you. Link in the description.